Hello Developments, welcome back to another video, and I think it's safe to assume that I am an Arrowverse fan. Arrowverse fan. Because I'm pretty much, I've been following the series ever since, or the universe since Arrow began. And for the most part, I have enjoyed the Arrowverse. Batgirl I could have done without that show, and I would have been okay with if they focused more so on her being a side character than a main character, but that's just me. But yeah, I see that this article has ranked the Arrowverse Heroes by how much they deserve to enter the DCU. So let's read, shall we? The CW Arrowverse proper is rapidly approaching its end, with the Flash series ending this year on the abbreviated 9th season. This would have Superman Lois as the only remaining Arrowverse related series on air. It takes place on an alternate Earth by Tyler Hoechlin's Superman has appeared in the Arrowverse, with one more series, Gotham Knights, set to premiere on the CW sometime in 2023. Not an Arrowverse show apparently, but if reaction to the trailer is any indication, it won't be around long enough to form a debate about it. Yeah, the trailer was like creating an response. For some of the heroic characters, it's a merciful end to that agony of having them on air. For others, it would be a shame if the end of the popular run of a series meant an end to the characters and the actors, which brought them to such vivid life. But what if it wasn't the end? What if there was a home for them in the DCU? So, for kicks, let's take a look at which of the Arrowverse heroes should be on that short list, from least deserving to most. Hawkman and Hawkgirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow. Now, granted that Hawkman was just featured in a DC film, being Black Adam, but I guess they mean like connected to the gun first. Let's read. Kendra Saunders, who was played by Sierra Renee, and Carter Hall was played by Hulk Henskell, appeared in season 1 of DC's Legends of Tomorrow as Hawkgirl and Hawkman, respectively. Do you remember them? Probably not. Despite being integrated part of the Fendo Savage storyline, the characters didn't really stick out. This, combined with a costume that simply looked ridiculous on the small screen. Well, they were in the Flash. For like some episodes. But yeah, they I know that Falk Henskell, sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I know the guy who played Carter Hall, he did reprise his role as Hawkman like season 6, I want to say, of Legends of Tomorrow. When the Legends Wayfinder computer was getting corrupted, and she was trying to like unhack herself essentially and try to save the Legends. When Gideon tried to unhack herself essentially, we saw Hawkman. She kind of traveled through her memory bank. So yeah. Let's just say that Aldous Hodge's significantly better Hawkman from Black Adam should be higher on James Gunn's list. I doubt so, though. I doubt he'll. Not doubting Aldous Hodge's ability to be a better Hawkman, just I doubt Gunn will um cast that dude to be in his DCU. But anyways, Rip Hunter, DC Legends of Tomorrow. um, Arthur Darville's Rip Hunter, Time Master, assembled the Legends of Tomorrow, leading the Motley crew as the main protagonist of season 1. In season 2, he was a supporting protagonist, and come season 3, Rip Hunter was a supporting character. Then the gang he brought together moved on without him, making Legends a much better show in the process. Coincidence? Doubtful. DCU, no Rip for you. I remember when I saw Arthur Darville as Rip Hunter, I said, yeah, you were just a supporting character in Doctor Who that got killed off not so long ago. And now you're coming back into the time travel beeswax. I get you, Arthur. I get you. I'm too good for their shindigs. I'm gonna stop. So, Killer Frost on the Flash. Killer Frost is the dual personality that lives inside Caitlin Snow, played by Daniel Panabaker, or at least did until Caitlin and her become two separate people. Frost may have started out as a villain, partnering up with season 3's big bad, Savitar, but over time the Killer Queen turned hero, confident, quick, and sarcastic wit, and powerful, and soon mentioned currently dead for what that's worth. Killer Frost is the first on the list that could see making the jump into DCU. And I would love to see Danielle Panabaker be the big screen Killer Frost. I think that would be cool. Like, I shouldn't say cool, but I would hope to see her. I mean, sure, older actresses could portray her, and just fine, but Danielle, I would like to see her, like, acting chops playing a different version of Killer Frost. If that makes sense. You guys agree with that or no? Let me know. Anyways. White Canary, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Sarah Lance first appeared in Arrow on board the Queen's family yacht when it's shipwrecked. After returning to season 3, she fights crime as the Canary dies in season 3. Resurrected without a soul in the Lazarus Pit in season 4, gets her soul back and finally joins the Legends along with Ray Palmer, Brandon Routh. She's given the White Canary moniker by Laurel, Katie Cassidy, before she leaves. White Canary is well trained in hand-to-hand combat and would eventually lead the Legends in their time-traveling antics. If the DCU needs a more grounded hero and one that can lead others, she'd be a great addition. I mean, I can see... I mean... On one hand, I can see them using the Canary in the DCU. I mean, they kind of already did in Suicide Squad, I believe. Or not Suicide Squad, the Harley Quinn movie. But I'm hoping that they will do her justice a bit more, because the Black Canary in the Harley Quinn movie was eh. The actress was... I bet she's a talented actress. And beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong, she's a beautiful woman. Don't take me saying she's as me saying, oh, she's ugly. No, she's beautiful. Just, I'm not a big fan of her portrayal as, the Black Canary. That's just me, though. Ray Palmer Annam from Arrow. Ray Palmer, rich businessman, former CEO of Palmer Tech, aka Queen Consolidated, philanthropist, and the man responsible for rebranding Starling City as Star City. Oh, and he built himself a sweet, really sweet, powerful exosuit in which he could shrink to a miniature size. Ralph really was given a chance to shine, and he ran with it over the course of his time on Arrow and Legends. One of the most endearing characters in the Arrowverse. He already proved he could hold his own on film in Superman Returns, and there is no current Atom in the DCU. Atom, by the way, predates Marvel's Ant-Man by 4 months, October 1961 versus January 1962. So he'd be the perfect fit for DCU. Okay, I mean, but it can't be where he has the exoskeleton though. I mean, as cool as the suit looked in the Arrowverse, it can't really can't be the exoskeleton though, because I remember when images were first set out with the Arrowverse version of the Atom, people kept on saying he's pretty much Iron Man, who can shrink. And I can't really get mad at that comparison, because that's pretty much what he was. Let's be real. As much as I have enjoyed the Arrowverse, let's be real. That's what he was. So now we're going to Leonard Stark and Mick Rory, who are who are both Captain Cold and Heatwave. One thing that the Flash did well was bring Heroes' iconic rogue gallery to life, and Captain Cold, who was played by Wentworth Miller, and Heatwave, who was played by Dominic Purcell, are prime examples. First appearing together in Season 1, Episode 4, Going Rogue, as villains, both would find themselves on the other side of justice, and Mick finding extended and hilarious life on Legends. Well, Leonard Snart did join the Legends too, for those of you who doesn't know. But in the first season of Legends, Leonard Snart did sacrifice himself so the Legends can live. So it did literally go out like in a bang. So there's that. So the two actors have a great chemistry, having appeared on as brothers on the TV series Prison Break, and it would be difficult to have mentioned any others in those roles. But breathing life into what could have been a full-on campy characters, the pair should get a shot in the DCU. I mean, if they're I do like their chemistry. I guess they can lose the accents and speak I'm Firestorm. Hey, how you doing? I'm Captain Code. How you doing? Those type of accents, and talk more normal like how they did in their intro episode, then I'll be actually game for that. Seeing Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell to reprise their roles as Captain Cold and Heatwave, but on the big screen. Firestorm. That damn Star Labs particle accelerator explosion and its metahuman creating wave. One victim, actually two victims, was Ronnie Raymond, Robbie Amell. Robbie Amell was related to Steve Amell, and Steve Amell played the Green Arrow in the Arrowverse, the man who started the Arrowverse off. Anyways, Robbie Raymond, structural engineer, and Professor Martin Stein, played by Victor Garber. Martin Stein was pretty much the person that was talking in Firestorm's head. who were merging into one being, who was Stein's brain and Raymond's body, forming Firestorm. The two coexisted for a time until Raymond's death, after which Jackson, who was played by Franz Drame, willingly merged with Stein to not only save Stein's life but keep Firestorm alive. The pair moved on from The Flash to Legends, which did an admirable job of showcasing their unique dynamic. Again, Firestorm is another character that hasn't appeared in the DCU as of yet, so the Arrowverse Firestorm would slot in nicely. So then, Black Lightning. Despite being told that Black Lightning was not being part of the Arrowverse, the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover even brought the character into the fold. When we first meet the hero, Jefferson Pierce, played by Chris Williams, is the principal in the charter high school, a place where the students can find safety from the gang violence in the neighborhood, and also a superhero, Black Lightning, who hung the tights 9 years previously. Yet crime, corruption, and the rival of a local gang, the 100, Pierce takes up the mantle again and uses his abilities to harness and control electricity to rise against it and provide the people hope. Williams aids the character, showcasing his wariness, his strength, his anger, and his commitment to the innocent flawlessly. In the DCU, that largely lacks a diverse group of race. Williams Black Lightning is deserving of getting into the big leagues. I have to agree that Black Lightning does deserve getting in the big leagues, but not because he's black. Not to add representation. Just because I find Black Lightning to be a pretty badass character. That, yeah, sure, happens to be black, but I want him, if Black Lightning is going to enter the DCU, and this is with any character, I don't want them to enter. I don't want studios just bringing characters for diversity's sake. I want the studios to bring in the characters because it would fit the story with how they are and their, in this case, powers. Not, we're gonna cast Phil to be Static Shock in Arrowverse to add another black person to the roster. No, because I'll be mad and I will decline that offer. If they say, hey, you're black, want to make the Arrowverse or the DCU more diverse, I would decline that shit. So, John Constantine. If anyone deserves a shot on the DCU, it's John Constantine, which is played by Matt Ryan. First appearing in his own DC show, Constantine, we learned that the NBC's version of the character exists in the same universe as Arrowverse. So the Constantine is a continuation? Okay. Then I have to watch the Constantine show, because I remember seeing it on Netflix last year. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I'm hoping it is. But now I gotta watch it, because Constantine was introduced in Arrow, and he later became part of the Legends. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Long story short, I've heard also the main reason why I'm wanting to watch Constantine is because I've heard mostly positive stuff about the show. So yeah. When Constantine shows up in the fourth season of Arrow, yeah, that was his first time in the flashbacks. Only I knew. The demonologist and master of the Oculate was a key part of the Arrowverse. Personally, when the character was brought into Legends, Matt Ryan is the definite Constantine, with Ryan absolutely perfect for the role. No offense, Keanu Reeves, however, Okay, Keanu Reeves would make. I think can't see Keanu Reeves being a decent Constantine though. Although unlikely, especially given the Reeves Constantine is being given a sequel. Wait. Going back, I will finish this later. Reeves was Constantine? So Reeves was already John Constantine. Oh, my lord. I'm watching that then. Just to make the comparison. If I can watch the, Matt Ryan's Constantine series from start to finish, and watch Keanu Reeves getting, like, his Constantine, I will seriously make a comparison video. Which one do I like the better? Between the two. Yes, please. Now, this article got me excited for Constantine now. Anyways, although unlikely, especially given that Reeves' Constantine is being given a sequel, it will serve as DCU well to bring Ryan on board. Martian Manhunter. The DEO director Hank Henshaw, played by David Harwood, isn't who he seems to be, and the build-up to the reveal of his true identity centered on him being a supervillain. But when he was revealed to be the DC Comics legend Martian Manhunter, aka John Jones, people went batshit crazy. His look was comic book accurate, and Harwood was exceptional in delivering the deep emotions of the character. His loneliness, as the last of his kind, his fatherly love of Kara, played by Melissa Benoist, and Alex, who was played by Tyler Lee, his joys and his sorrows, his is the best depiction of Martian Manhunter in media, and although Harry Lennox showed up as a character in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the DCU should move forward with Harwood in the role. And that's the thing. I am kind of torn. Because on one hand, I would be up to seeing David Harwood coming back as Martian Manhunter. On the other hand, I'd be up for Harry Lennox to be Martian Manhunter. I did enjoy Hank Henshaw or David Harwood's portrayal as Martian Manhunter, but I feel like we didn't really get to see Harry Lennox really have a chance of becoming Martian Manhunter. So as much as I do appreciate David Harwood, and I'll be totally open to see him again, only because I haven't seen him really being Martian Manhunter in his fullest. My first choice would be Harry Lennox, just so he can have that chance, because David Harwood had that chance. Harry Lennox hadn't yet at this point, so. But when it comes down to it, I'll be up for both men to play. I wouldn't care which one at the end of the day. But if I had to choose one, Harry Lennox, only because he never had a chance to be, never really had a full chance to be Martian Manhunter. What did he do? Just talk to Bruce Wayne, say that his parents would be proud of him, say, "Oh yeah, I'm the Martian Manhunter," and then fly away. I want to see that Martian Manhunter fight. God damn it. Anyways, Superman. Supergirl's move from CBS to the CW to begin season 2 started off with a bang by introducing Tyler Hoagland's Superman, teaming up with his cousin to protect National City from incoming threat. Hoagland's portrayal of the iconic hero won praise, even from the most hardcore fans. So it wasn't all that surprising when he was given his own show, Superman Lois. The charismatic Hoagland embodies both Clark Kent and Superman to a T, and the big budget feel of the show makes it easier to imagine his Superman on the big screen. We know that DCU is going in a different direction, and it would be unfortunate for Hoagland's take on to end with the series when the series does. Only because Henry Cavill isn't going to play Superman, I'll be able to see Tyler Hoagland's Superman come onto live action. If they're going to pull Arrowverse actors, I'll be up for him. I do enjoy his portrayal of the Man of Steel. So yes. Speaking of Kryptonians, Melissa Benoist's Supergirl is the best iteration of the character in media to date, especially for those that remember the 1984's Supergirl. Funny thing is, I did watch that Supergirl show, movie, the 1984 one, and I have to say it was pretty bad. Like, it was Like, even though I enjoyed it, I can't even acknowledge it was a pretty bad movie. So I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, not only did she look that role, but Benoist was able to exemplify everything that is good about the character. Her Supergirl has strength, compassion, hope, and an optimism that saved the world countless times over the course of the series. In many ways, Benoist is to Supergirl what Linda Carter is to Wonder Woman. The depiction that sticks in the public's mind, even if the role isn't translated to the big screen. So what Benoist's Supergirl would do well is in the DCU, in a way it doesn't really matter. I mean, I know people criticize the Arrowverse Supergirl. I think she was a decent Supergirl. I know we're gonna get a Supergirl in the Flash movie. And we have a person who plays Supergirl in 1984. I guess if she if this is a different version of Supergirl and not the Arrowverse version, I guess you can say that Melissa Benoist could pull it off. I'll be up for giving her a chance. Again, it'll have to be a different version of it, though. Anyways, Barry Allen's Flash. For being one of DC's most prominent heroes, the Flash live-action appearances are few. And in the Battle of Barry's, Grant Gustin is the best of the lot. Having first appeared on Arrow, Gustin's take opened the door for the Flash to warrant its own series, which has proven to be the most successful of the Arrow spin-offs. The Flash of the Arrowverse begins as a man learning what it's to take to become a hero, but what personal sacrifices have to be made to be the hero that acts for the greater good. Like Benoist, Gustin has come to own the role, infusing the Flash with a depth that to date hasn't come across on film. Now that depth is likely to be explored in the upcoming DCU film, The Flash, but it's highly unlikely that star Ezra Miller will be in the role going forward. With the vacancy of the horizon, the DCU already has Gustin in the pipelines. Yeah, I guess we got multiple versions of the Flash, like Ezra Miller, Grant Gustin, John Wesley Snipes, Ship. Was that? We will get to in a sec. But with John Wesley's Ship, he was Barry Allen, the Flash, and the um 90s TV series, which he was also was he was able to reprise that Flash as well as being able to be Jay Garrick's Flash in both the Flash show that Grant Gustin is the story in, and in Stargirl. So yeah. Anyways, now we're getting to the man who started the Arrowverse, the Green Arrow himself, Oliver Queen. Who would have known that the 2012 introduction of Oliver Queen as the Hood Arrow, Green Arrow, played by Stephen Amell, would spawn a powerhouse of DC comic book series on the CW that has lasted for over a decade. It's been 11 years, to be exact. What Arrow did was take a second-tier DC hero and bring him to the forefront in a gritty, competitive television environment, a series that bounced between the origin of the hero and present-day heroics. The series was certainly more realistic than most of the genre. The Hood recognized as a vigilante that wouldn't be fully embraced by the city until later on, and Amell was perfectly casted as a hero, one haunted by his past but steadfast in his commitment to make Starling City safe. Amell has the big screen presence that isn't shared by many of his hero kin in the Arrowverse. And I know Stephen Amell did, as the Arrow show was happening, he was in Michael Bay's Ninja sequel, Out of the Shadows. And should be top pick to carry the character into the DCU that hasn't introduced him yet. I always so would be for Stephen Amell to be the DCU's Green Arrow. Of course, it should be a different version of than the TV show we got, but I would be so open to see Stephen Amell play Green Arrow on the big screen. I would flippin' lose my shit if that ever happens. Please let me make that happen. Then the Flash, Jay Garrick's Flash. John Wesley's ship is no stranger to the iconic hero. Appearing as Barry Allen's version of the Flash in the 1990 through 1991 series, the Flash saw for fans it was a great nod to the past when Ship first appeared as Barry's father on the Arrowverse, the Flash series. Better still was when he was revealed as Jay Garrick, the Flash from Earth 3. The character was actually the first to appear as the Flash in the comics from 1940 to 1949, wearing the winged hubcap helmet he would sport in the Arrowverse. The veteran speedster was a welcome addition to the show, acting as mentor, companion, esteemed family friend, and self-hero. It's part of the Flash history that would be explored deeper in the DCU, and the way Ship commands the screen as Garrick makes him the perfect and most deserving of all the Arrowverse heroes to join the DCU. And they didn't even mention that, like, the 1990, his version of the Barry Allen from 1990 to 1991 came into the Arrowverse too. Twice. In the Elseworld crossover, and then the Crisis of Infinite Earths crossover, which I enjoyed both, but yeah, I definitely agree with John Wesley's Ship, especially if he's gonna be Jay Garrick. Flash. I think that would be a nice addition. Steve Van Mel's Green Arrow for sure. Grant Gustin as the Flash. Maybe. Melissa Benoist as Supergirl. Maybe. Henry Hoagland Superman. Only because they aren't doing Henry Cavill anymore. Yes. Martian Manhunter. Like I said, I would rather see Harry Lennox take his go at it, like get a redo, cause he never really got to be Martian Manhunter, like be Martian Manhunter in action, but I'll be open for David Harwood to be Martian Manhunter again as well. John Constantine, yes. What's his name? Matt Ryan as John Constantine, hell yes. Chris Williams as Black Lightning, sure, maybe. Firestorm, maybe. Captain Cold and Heatwave. I mean, if we're gonna get like a Flash movie, then maybe. But I feel like if we don't really get the Reverse Flash in the Flashpoint movie to be one of the main villains, then we should have the Reverse Flash be the main villain in the sequel before introducing Captain Cold and Heatwave. But I would like to put Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell, yes. Perfect team. The Atom, sure, but I don't have a exoskeleton suit. Canary, if they do a better job than the Harley Quinn movie, yeah. Claire Frost, maybe. Rip Hunter, maybe. Hawkman and Hawkgirl, maybe. So, with that said, what do you beautiful people think? Let me know in the comment section below. What hero in the Arrowverse would you like to see make it to the big screen? As you guys can see, I'm like, potentially, maybe, or yes. Like, the yes are definitely Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Jay Garrick's Flash, Tyler Hoagland's Superman. Those were my definite yeses, and John Constantine. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I want to talk to you fellow amazing people later. Later, taters.